Hello everyone, welcome to the day 24 of the Cyber Yuva campaign organized by Cyber Jagriti Foundation. As you all pretty well aware, this year's campaign, Cyber Yuva, is focused more specific towards children and the parents. Today we are bringing to you an amazing session on child loss. What are all the laws, or say what are all the issues a child faces in his or her life? Today we are going to have a beautiful discussion on that. For that, we are having Parisa Sekandari, an eminent person who is research officer at Politics and International Relations School of Social Sciences, Faculty of Arts, Monash University. He's an academic advisor at Legal Wine, Afghanistan WIS Alumni Network, country director, and regional coordinator for Afghans for Progressive Thinking. And not only that, she have been working uh, enormously in the field of children, dedicated so much in the field of law to the society. With this, I request Parisaji to please take over the session.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction. Hello, everyone, and welcome for today's session. Today's session about one of the most important topic about the child law and the protection of the child, which this is the responsibility of every single person to know about how to protect the child and what is the law for protection of the child. So let's begin today's topic. It's about child law. So before going to discuss deeply about the child law, let's talk about what is child law. So basically, child law involves the study of law and the social context of law as it affects children. It builds a foundation for the study of specific laws by exploring human rights, social, and legal perspectives. Like we can give the example of the child protection law and the juvenile justice law. Basically, for the child law, the definition of the child law under UN Agency for Children, we can have the Article 13 of that. Which mentioned children have the right to learn and use the language and custom of their families, whether on these are shared by the majority of the people in the country they are live or not, as long as this does not harm others. And other article about the child law, it's Article 31 of the UN Agency for Children, that is very important, which mentioned children have the right to relax, play, and to join in wide range of activities. So basically, worldwide nowadays, the most activities done by the children are using by social media and internet, and basically that have many advantages. But beside that, there are some harm and risk and danger for the children using the social media by cyber criminals and cyber thieves. So basically, we're talking about the laws and the cyber security today. So let's go to next topic. So what is about? Let's talk somehow about the story of the child law. Where it began and what was the process to have this child law that we have nowadays, and what was the struggles people did to have the unique child law nowadays. So basically, in the industrialized country of the early 20th century, there were no standards of protection for the children. It was common for them to work alongside adults in unsafe conditional situation. Growing recognition of the injustices of their situation, propelled by greater understanding of development need of children, lead to a movement to better protect them. So, international standards of the child right have advanced dramatically over the past centuries. Indeed, in the antiquity, nobody thought to give a special protection to children, but after that, in the Middle Age, children were considered as small adults, and in the middle of the 19th century, the idea appears in France to give the children special protection. So, um, at the beginning of 20th century, children's protection starts to be put in place, including protection in the medical, social, and judicial fields. This type of protection started first in France and spread across Europe afterwards. Since 1919, the international community, following the creation of the League of Nations, it sought to give some kind of importance to that concept and try to protect children and have some laws to protect the children. The League of Nations, adopt the Declaration of the Rights of the Child, in which is the first international treaty concerning children's rights. So basically, the year after the year 1997 is declared International Year of Child by the UN. So that year saw a real change of spirit. As one of the examples we can give is Poland, as Poland makes the proposal to create a working group within the Human Rights Commission, which is in charge of writing an international charter regarding to the child law, which was a great step to protect the children and child from the different harms, especially the cyber attacks. So the Convention on the Rights of the Child is adopted unanimously by the UN General Assembly on November 20, 1989. So as we have it today, the International Charter of the Child, right? Nowadays. So today, its idea and its forceful chapter are almost acceptable by all the countries around the world, as they named 1st of June as Child Day every year, and they are celebrating the Child Day because they knew the importance of the protection of child. So they named the 1st of June as the the Day of International Day of Children. So history of International Children's Day, also the origin of this holiday goes back to 1925. One representative from the different countries met in Geneva, Switzerland, to convene the first World Conference for the well-being of the children. So it was the first conference ever that thought about the protection of the children. So about the how cyber crimes and child abuse, children are the most important section of the society and are easily exploited in the cyber world because of the majority level in them, and also these days it seems that even sexual exploitation of the children has started online. The offenders chat online with the young children by stating their identity wrongly. With this latest technology, it has become very easy for the criminals to contact children, to have chat with them, to have conversation with them. So children are easily exploited by the online criminals, and not only because of their age and maturity, but also as they heavily rely on networking sites for social interaction. Offenders use false identities in chat rooms to lure victims for personal meetings. Many children, unfortunately, as we have data, especially from India, many children commit suicide when their offensive pictures are posted online. Children often avoid telling their parents about this mistake, which causes further more trouble for them. So the victims of online exploitations are forced to live with their abuse for the rest of their life. So it also affects the overall mental development of children. Children often unknowingly or deliberately share personal information without realizing that by just forwarding these messages, they can be made to suffer penal charges. Like Facebook photographs, WhatsApp messages are uploaded and shared by children without knowing that the gravity of things that impact that will it have on their future. So we all understand the need of protection of children in the real world. So there are the lawmakers in every country and also in around the world, especially the UN. They are thinking about how they can protect the children, as they have many laws. So if we want to talk about the specific India, so what are the laws of for children in India? There are many laws for protection of children issued in India, like the, as we can talk about, the Factories Act, the Prohibition of Offender Acts, the Child Labor Acts, the Child Marriage Restraint Act, the Juvenile Justice Act, the Preconception, Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques, and many other laws in India and other around the world they made because to protect the child, to protect the future and especially the mental health of the children. So what is the aim of these laws? Okay, these laws, the child protection laws, focuses on the rights of the children and the responsibilities that each parent has toward their children, rather than on parental rights. The Act aims to ensure that children can enjoy a meaningful relationship with each other, their parents, and are protected from harm. So basically, the aim of the laws which issued for protection of the child is to protect children from the harm and create the ground for the children to have a meaningful relationship and have a better life and relaxed life. So especially for the laws, when the laws created, so there are some penalties. There are penalties mentioned on the IT Acts 2002 of India from section 43 to 84 to protect from cyber attacks, such as for the criminals and offenders, they are fines and being imprisoned. So these penalties can decrease the rate of the cyber attacks, especially the harm for the children. So basically, the laws are for protection of the child, to teach the parents and the child how they can protect themselves from the cyber attacks. And finally, there are some penalties for the cyber criminals and cyber thieves. So in the one of the most important part of the laws are the protection part. Beside the penalties for the criminals, the most important step is the protection step, which in every laws they are highlighted by the lawyers and also by the psychologists that protection is the most important step for protect the children from the harm and the from the cyber criminals and cyber thieves. So let's talk about some of the top cyber security concerns every parent should understand under the law. So first is nowadays being a parent is hard, especially when you have to keep up with the growing list of technological changes affecting your children. So nowadays everything is internet, everything is social media. So the children from a very small ages, they started to have to be active in social media, to use different websites. So being parents, you have to take care of their social activities. They are, what activities they are doing while using internet, and what site they are using, and how the internet activities can harm them. So being parents, we have to take care of some points. We will talk about it. First is about anonymous sharing. So basically, anonymous sharing is popular among tweens and teens. Apps like Snapchat allows users to post images and messages that only show up temporarily and then are removed. But nothing on the internet is temporary. Cyber thieves and cyber criminals can easily take screenshots and photos of the information and images before it disappear. So one of the mistakes that happen by the done by the children, that they think that some of the apps like Snapchat is temporarily and they can share anything, and because after that they disappear. But as I mentioned, nothing is temporary in the internet. The people, especially the cyber criminals, they can take screenshots, they can save it, download it. So we have to teach our children about these mistakes. That see. Nothing is temporary. You cannot rely on the setting of an app, and you have to take care of that. You have to be careful if you don't want to have the arm. So parents and every single person have to take care of anonymous sharing. And the second point is direct messaging. The majority of social media sites have direct message feature for connecting with friends, family, and strangers. Direct messages are popular with cyber thieves who place links directly to phishing sites and harmful downloads. So you have to take care of that and teach your children and yourself how to avoid these messages. So the next part is email attachments and links. So basically nowadays, when we are going to school, university, so we are using email mostly and having attachments. So email which have attachments. So basically, we have to be aware of using it in an appropriate way. So we could protect ourselves and our children from the cyber attacks. So social engineering is a powerful way for cyber thieves to trick children into infecting their own devices or revealing personal information. Side down with your you have to teach your children about it and sit with them, open your email, and teach them how to attach appropriate file you want to send to a special appropriate person. So avoid the mistakes in the emails, and teach them to not open every link coming from strangers, coming from the people they don't know who they are. So avoid opening every link and every website that is not familiar to you. And the next part is video streaming sites. The world of television programs and cable networks, familiar to many parents, has given way to online celebrities and YouTube videos for their children. Every day, YouTube users watch over 1 billion hours of videos. So that's a high rate for watching the videos. So all of this traffic draws the attention of cyber thieves and cyber criminals looking to hack the system for profit. So make sure that which link of video you are opening, which link of video you are sharing with your friends, and which video you are going to visit and watch. So be careful about the any video you're watching in YouTube, and advise and teach your children how to watch the true and appropriate videos and not open every link. And one of the most important parts in this cybersecurity concerns is online video games. Nowadays children are very interested on the online video games, and the parents are not aware of the harm of these video games, how these video games can harm their children. Although there are some protections from the law, but law teaches us how to protect ourselves. So parents should take care of their children while playing video games. Kids love video games, especially those that let them share their experiences with others. Almost every video games today has some type of social component built in, whether it's direct messaging or chat. Like many games, we can have many examples that those games let kids build words and share them with others. So be aware of those chat groups. Maybe some of the chat rooms there, sharing the different links, sharing the different videos that can harm your children, that can be misused by the cyber criminals and cyber thieves, so they could have the information that they can hack the device by just clicking on the link. So avoid clicking on those links, and teach your children how to use online video games. Have some training for them, teach them, sit with them and play with them, so they could learn how to use the video games appropriately. So the next part is be proactive, not reactive. Set up parental controls. So I just mentioned about the different cybersecurity concern every parent should understand. So your question might be, okay, we do understand all these concerns. So what is the the first step we can take, and what can help us? So in my point of view, you can set up parental controls, keep your kids safe, and consider executive and multi-layered approach to parental controls. You can have parental control on their device. You can choose the parental control and control your children, your kids, that which site they are visiting, which videos they are watching, with whom they are chatting. If there are some strangers, if they are cyber criminals and cyber thieves, you could be aware of that. And one of the most important part you can take care of that is to protect your child password. As a child, maybe your children are not taking so seriously the passwords, and they can share password with everyone. They can forget the password. They can give the password to strangers and criminals, to thieves. So it's a huge harm to their career, to their future. So make sure that you protect your child's password. Your child's password to their social account is like gold to a cyber thief. With their password, cyber criminals can take over the account and use it to post fake news, spam others with messages, or create fundamental ads. So help your kids create passwords and keep record to the password in case you need access yourself. So keep the password, teach your children to create passwords, and teach them how to keep passwords safe. Teach them not to share the password with anyone. So there are 3 steps in protect your child's password. Is first, you have to teach them how to create passwords and how having password is important for them. Secondly, record your password with yourself. And thirdly, teach them not to share their password with anyone, even with their friends, even with the people who they trust. So this is how you can protect your children from the cyber attacks. The next part is get antivirus protection. The lawyers and the specialists all the time suggest to get antivirus protection. So downloading and installing a comprehensive antivirus protection software will actually solve many of the problems, the problems I outlined in this guide. So, from helping avoid links to managing your passwords, antivirus software will keep your data confidential, your identity safe, and also your devices virus free, and your children better protected from the harmful content. So make sure that you installed antivirus protection on your children's device, and make sure they are using the right pathway. And lastly, which is very important, and the lawyers and the specialists always suggest, is the consider cybersecurity an investment. So, although there are many penalties and punishments for the cyber criminals and cyber thieves, but the protection is always better than having the punish the criminals. So, the cyber investment is like insurance. Cybersecurity is something you avoid thinking about it until you need it. But when disaster happen, you're always glad it's there. You stay ahead of the growing threat of cyber criminals and involving malware of taking the time to invest in the things that work. So invest on yourself about the cybersecurity, educating yourself and your children, practicing good online habits, keeping your devices up to date, and getting a comprehensive antivirus system software are all the investment you can do for yourself and your children. So be aware and take care of everything that is needed and related to your children's future. So basically, the aim of the law is to protect the children from the cyber attacks, and to teach and educate people about the cyber criminals, about the cyber attacks, about the cyber thief, and how you can protect yourself. And finally, there is punishes and the penalties from the law side for the cyber criminal and cyber thieves. So from the fine to getting to the jail. So in conclusion, being aware about the cyber attacks and how you can protect yourself and your children from the cyber attacks is the first step suggested by the law. And the second is about the punishes and penalties, which the government and the laws give you this, this promise that they can or they will take care of the protection and to protect your children to not get harmed. But first step is always to protect and consider cybersecurity an investment to protect your children and yourself and have a better life and work. And then thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Parisa, for that wonderful session. I think the session was very insightful, and many of all the participants are most of the questions which I am seeing are mostly covered. I think there is one question from Seema. It says, "How to know that every link is not fake?" Do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, it's not easy to understand which links are fake and which links are not fake, because it's you have to have the you have to be expert on that field to know which links are fake and which links are not fake. But to avoid getting attacked by the cyber thieves, so you set some principles and some rules for yourself. So if the links are coming from the people you don't know them, so avoid clicking on them and avoid sharing them. Secondly, if they are coming from the from some of the accounts with the unfamiliar names, like they are not the real names of the people. Your some accounts using the strange names, so avoid clicking on them. And the last one is when you're visiting any website, so some of the website are not really reliable, and you can come across the some of the links which are not familiar for you, and you never asked for that, and it's just coming and advising you to visit that link. So avoid visiting that link. So just make sure that you know the sender of the link, who sent the link to you, and from which site you found that link. Is the site is reliable? If so, so you can simply click in and open the link. But if you are not, you don't have trust on the website, and you don't have trust on the people who sent you the link, so never click on that link.
Sure. Thank you so much. I would like to add one point over there, maybe as an technical person. So there is, so the participants, you can see there is displaying a link, fishtag.org. Just visit that website, and whatever link you are getting, if you want to know whether it's a phishing link or a non-phishing link, just you can get some inputs. So this is a website maintained by Cisco Talos Intelligence Group. So this can be a little helpful to you. With that, thank you so much everyone for joining with us, and thank you so much Parisa for taking out time of your busy schedule and connecting with us and sharing your knowledge with us. Hope to see you soon in future sessions also. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure being in one of your sessions. It was nice talking to you all. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.